Farm Fam. We will see how this video goes. I was going to do a recipe today, but then I realized that my taste buds really haven't come back yet. So I wouldn't be able to tell you if the recipe was any good or not. So instead, I'm going to go over some Facebook comments and questions and answer them. And yeah, I also am wearing my glasses today, but with the lighting, it shows up really bad. So I'm going to put my glasses on to read and then just blindly look into the camera. So these comments were mostly off of the article that was put on, well, that was done by the Salt Lake Tribune, that was put on Facebook. And there is some interesting comments, some good comments, some people just spewing what they think is their knowledge. But I think there are some good questions and stuff that come from it. And so we have, one person recommended the documentary on Netflix called Kiss the Ground, and I forgot about this. Stan and I have read the book, and the book is amazing. I need to watch the Netflix documentary because I'm sure it's just as good as the book. So one thing that I really appreciated is some people really liked the article and talked about how it gave them hope, because even though there's a drought and the drought is bad, and if you are not conserving water, you should really do that. And I think we kind of talked about this before. The drought is no bueno, and it's really damaging not only to the farming community but other people who rely on not only the farms for food but also for their animals and so forth. But it gave them hope because of farmers like us, and I hope there's other farmers out there who are choosing to leave the chemical way and the Monsanto way and educate themselves on other options for farming. Because in this article, Stan talks about it, where Monsanto spends, I don't want to say billions. Oh, it is billions. Okay, so Monsanto spends billions of dollars educating farmers every year. And of course, they're not going to talk about organic matter. Well, they might talk about organic matter, but in such a vague form. They're going to talk about how to use chemicals during the year. At least when I went to school for agriculture, my bachelor's is in agriculture science. That was I remember learning that. I remember learning not how to do. I think we spent one day on no-till or different ways of doing things. Like I don't remember really talking about it, just a little bit. We spent a lot of time on how to apply insecticides and pesticides, and what rates and how to calculate. I remember spending like a whole semester on that. And if we would have maybe spent that time, or at least equal parts of learning how to apply the chemicals and also how to create an ecosystem where we don't need that, that would be really amazing. But that didn't happen. If we don't reach out and help people know this thing or give them those opportunities, farmers are never going to know, because Monsanto and Bayer and other people in this chemical industry, they aren't going to tell us that's how they're going to lose money. They make so much money by educating us farmers on how to use their chemicals. And so it's nice to see that people are appreciating farmers using other options. Here we have a smart aleck thinking that we don't have a drought because of all the snow and rain we've had. I don't know how to answer that, because up north, yes, the snow up there is way more. There's certain areas of Utah that get more rain and water, and for him to just blatantly shove off other people because we're not, because he's fine. Anyway, one, maybe you shouldn't live in Utah if you don't realize we're in a drought, because everyone needs to conserve water from household use to, out on the grass. Well, we've already talked about the grass thing. you know, outside water, culinary and secondary water. And we our farm is fortunate enough to live in a place where south of us will get the snow and rain, and then the clouds just kind of part, skip us, and then hit north of us. It's a little unfortunate, but but what's more unfortunate is people who don't realize the problem that we're in. That's really unfortunate. This is the one that I wanted to get to, and I don't know really what this guy, what his background is in, but he was wondering why we are growing alfalfa versus a higher value crop. He doesn't really explain exactly what he means by a higher crop. Oh, he means peanuts. Anyway, I think he has learned something, is very excited about this thing that he has learned and wants to tell everyone about it, but it's not very, doesn't really work for our thing. But anyway, some people are wondering why we still raise alfalfa, where if organic matter and soil health is our big thing, because alfalfa is a monocrop. Anytime there's a monocrop, whether it's corn, soybeans, alfalfa, it could be really anything where there's only one plant on the field is not ideal. It takes away from the soil and it invites pests and so forth. And so history about us is that alfalfa has been grown in Utah for years. Utah is the best place to grow alfalfa. It has the highest quality, and I don't know why exactly. I'm sure I learned at one point why Utah is so amazing at growing alfalfa, but it is. There's this story, and I've told it before, and I should probably see if it's true, where there's this alfalfa competition where different states all around, maybe a world, probably states, bring their alfalfa and test it, and Utah just kept winning every year that we got banned from it. I don't know if that's true, but I remember hearing that story back in college, which was about 10 years ago. 12. We'll say 10, 11 years ago. And so maybe I'm making that story up, but we grow really good alfalfa. And before, the alfalfa prices are always going up and down, and a dairy might pay more, but they also are they're going to be more technical about what kind of hay they want. And so a few years ago, I don't remember how many, my dad started contracting hay with Bailey's and Ephraim, and they have treated us so well. They have been so great for so many farmers. And so hay, and they take hay, and they also take very clean, good hay. And so it was really important that we made sure the hay was without weeds and stuff. And then when we did corn, because we'd break up the cycle of alfalfa to put corn in for usually just a year, maybe another plant. I know we've done oats and stuff before. And we would sell that to a local dairy or feed, usually dairies. Yeah, I think they've been all dairies. So then when we break it up with corn and sell that to a dairy, and then we'd go back to alfalfa. But this, to be able to be a farmer and know you're going to have this income and know you're going to be able to sell this hay, if not the highest price, at least medium to high, and you know that's going to happen, that's a really great thing. And so us selling to Bailey's or growing alfalfa for many years was the income. And both my parents have worked so hard, and they've been so blessed by our Heavenly Father to get where we are now. And they've really were able to hand the farm over to Stan on a silver platter. And so a couple of things. One, until this regenerative side of the farm of the cows and chickens and eggs and hopefully pigs and stuff grows enough to sustain us, we can't just leave this alfalfa and just go on to other things. We are working on switching, and one day we won't be producing any or this much alfalfa, or it will be more different like grasses and wheat and oats and different things with the alfalfa to sell to maybe people who have horses or other animals that do better on a mixed feed. But so this alfalfa that we grow and sell, that is our main income. Well, when we have water and we can grow it, that's our main income. And so we can't just abandon that right now. And we don't really want to just burn this bridge that my dad made for the farm with Bailey's. We want to be like, oh, sorry, see ya. Like, we still want to keep good contact with them. And so that's why we are still doing alfalfa as a main crop. And we're trying to do it better by not spraying, by leaving pollinator strips so animals can have a place to go to when we harvest the rest of the field. And so we're trying to do better, and someday we'll be able to do everything the way we want, but right now we can't just completely leave that alfalfa, even though it may not be the best at the moment. It is fun seeing what other people have learned and read, and like this person talks about clearing brush using goats and then using pigs or hogs to get the soil turned up and clear the roots and stuff, and which is awesome. We've read the same thing. The problem, and Stan said this, we are blessed to have so much land, but we are also cursed with so much land. People who have smaller homesteads, or maybe I would say 20 acres at most, but when you have over 500 acres, you have to have thousands of animals in order to do this kind of work. It would be awesome, but we need so many animals, and we don't have that ability right now. And I don't know if it'd ever be good to have that many animals on the farm, because there is a number per acre of animals that would be a cap, where too many at that point would be damaging to the soil and would potentially bring in some parasites and stuff. And so we have to be careful with how much that we do, but it's really awesome to see people reading this kind of stuff. So for those of you with maybe some smaller farms or homesteads, using pigs to till the soil is really great, because there are people who, when they till to help with the damage that they do to the biome in the soil, they drip molasses or some other sugar thing that will help feed what they're breaking, and so it doesn't completely destroy the ecosystem there. It helps build it. And so when you have pigs coming through, one, they're not going to go as deep as a tiller would, so they're going to moonscape it, they're going to rip it up, but then they're going to fertilize it with their urine and manure, and that will help feed the system as they go along. And fun fact about pigs is, we've heard that they're smart, but they're also very clean creatures. I know we're used to talk about, pigs rolling their own filth. That's only if you make them. When you have pigs in a nice area, they pick a potty spot, and that's where they'll go do their business, and they'll eat everywhere else, and they'll root up except there. They actually like staying clean. They do like mud because it helps with sunburn and insects, but they really like staying clean, and they actually smell really good when they're not being forced to be in their own poop. So, fun fact. Well, that's probably really about all. There's some other people that, again, they've learned things and they're putting it out there, whether it's for us or other people who are commenting or reading. Like one guy talks about permaculture, which is great. I won't go on permaculture in this video. I've actually already gone a little longer than I thought I would. But yeah, that's a little bit about us, why we grow alfalfa and why we still are. So that's us, just a little background on the farm. If you have any questions that this brought up or anything you'd like me to clarify, please go ahead and put it in the comments, and we can go over that for sure. So thank you for joining me today, and when I can taste again, we will for sure get back doing recipes, because they're really fun and they get me in the kitchen to cook. So anyway, I hope you have a great day, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Bye.